everybody was just kind of like a little nervous. They didn't know what was really going to happen. And being down there in Nashville with them for a year, I kind of knew what to expect. So when they just asked me, whether we should stay or leave, I just told them, that the coach is a genuine guy. Everything he says, he means. He'll take care of you, and you just trust his process, and we'll get where we want to get to.
Has that same theme of kind of helping your teammates get used to a new coach that you have experience with, has that applied to the court? And I guess if so, how much? When you guys have started workouts and everything?
It was a yeah, because you had to kind of get everybody used to going up tempo. Like I was used to it somewhat to a degree down there, and I was used to how he kind of like playing defense. So you kind of had to get everyone used to playing at his speed and really thinking on the fly as opposed to having like a play set in motion.
How would you, I guess, characterize Kevin's defense compared to what you guys maybe used to from Coach Dixon?
It's a little more towards our personnel. We have like a long lineup. We're all interchangeable, so that's what this defense really takes advantage of. The fact that we all are interchangeable. If someone gets in a bad spot, we'll go help them out. And then also we're like applying more pressure as opposed to helping more.
Just your initial reaction when you heard it was Coach Stallings?
I was shocked. I mean, as I imagine most people were. I was like, I didn't see that coming. But after talking to him and talking to Scott Barnes, I realized it was a very beneficial thing for me.
No bad feelings or anything?
No, none to speak of.
So, what, so Coach has said that he was kind of joking with Chris earlier in the year, calling him Pillsbury Go Boy and poking his stomach. When did you first notice? Chris announced that he feels like he's in the best shape of his life. Is there a moment when you sort of notice Chris looks a little different, or just a gradual thing?
I would say like when I first noticed it was in the summertime, and he made like a really athletic play that I've never really seen him make, and then coach was like, oh, good job Pillsbury, and so and then like you kind of like had to take notice, like wow, like his body's changing physically too. So
And what does that mean? Does that motivate you to see a teammate like that sort of transform his body a little bit and work that hard to sort of change?
um, I wouldn't say it motivates me. I mean, it makes me proud of him. Like at the end of the day, like I look in the mirror and motivate myself to wanting to go in the weight room and get bigger and stronger. So, but it was something like all right, like yeah, Chris, like you see the results, and then also it kind of went back to with what I was telling them when they first called and asked me about Coach Stallings, that he's going to bring in the guys that'll help you get better, and so that it just kind of showed what I was saying was true.
Kind of going off of that, I mean, some of your teammates talked about the more strenuous training program this offseason. What's the biggest difference, what you guys, kind of the work you put in this offseason as opposed to previous years here?
There was a lot more mental toughness. We weren't allowed to really, after a while, sometimes certain programs just you kind of do the same thing over and over and over again. This one you didn't have time to get comfortable with it. It was like you always like the moment you got even started to get comfortable with the workout, we had a whole new one. So it's kind of like being dropped in cold water, and it was like sink or swim. So it was. I mean, me personally, I loved it. I loved every second of it. Um, it was difficult, but at the same time, it showed who was really tough enough to play and who's not.
Have you noticed a difference in your conditioning because of that?
Yes, I'm in much better shape than I was since I've been here.
It's hard to tell with that bigger shirt.
I know, right? That's why I was complaining about it.
How would you describe Kevin's coaching style? I mean, he sees himself as more of an old school, accountability is really important. Is that something that these guys,
I would on the court I would call it like structured freedom. Like we're put in place, and then he just says go, and then we go make the plays. Off the court, it's like you said, everything's accountable. We're kind of held to like a professional standard now. Like, we got to be on time to everything. You got to go to all your classes. You got to turn in all your work. The culture is like slowly. I won't say slowly, kind of rapidly. It's changing to how he was at Vanderbilt. That's what I was used to when I got up here. He's very demanding off the court. He wants you to act and be a great ambassador for our program.
how big is freedom when it comes to this system? Is that a big part of it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're at the same time though we're still learning it. but I'm picking up on it kind of quick, so I can see like it gives you the opportunity that like if you have a mismatch, you can go by him, but if not, you can continue into. I wouldn't call it a play though. I'd call it a set, and you can continue into the set, and then there's always something next with the sets. So
So what's it like with Jamel at point? What's that going to be like?
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. At the end of the day, Jamel's a playmaker. He can score, but he's a playmaker. He makes plays for himself, makes plays for others. So, he's used to having the ball in his hands a lot. So it's not like we're just throwing him the ball like after he's hasn't ever had the ball in his hands. So he's used to bringing it up. I think, and then also like I said with the defensive matchups, now we can use our length a lot more and more in better ways so we can pressure defenses into committing turnovers.
At this point, Sheldon, how closely does this team resemble to kind of how things Coach Stallings had down at Vandy when you were there? You were mentioning it's starting to resemble it more, but how close is it to being almost a match?
I'd say about 85%. We're great. We were good through the summer, and then it's just like anytime you have like a new parent, there's going to be the resistance at some point. But I think we're as a team, we met about it, and we're fully trusting him now. We fully trust what he's saying.
You talked about learning the system, so are we to assume it's not quite the same system that you learned the first time?
No, it's different. It was more the first system I was in was more based towards our personnel or lack thereof personnel.
Yeah,
This one
with him, right?
Yeah, this one takes advantage of the personnel we have now and the skill players we have.
Do you think the defense is almost going to be positionless to a point where you guys are just going to be constantly switching off guys, or do you think they're still going to have a pretty structured defense?
It's more about reading. If I'm guarding somebody that's 6'10" and Millie's in the game with me, I'm not going to switch with him so the 6'10" guy can go. No, so
when you have the forward, basically the five guys, all 6'6".
yeah, then it's pretty much positionless defense.
Sheldon, guys like you, Chris, and Mike, you've been outspoken leaders of this team for the past couple of years. What's your stance on the national anthem protest? And have you guys, talked about putting something together? Do you think you'll put something together for that?
It's a very interesting question. It's a very interesting topic. I fully understand why Colin's doing what he's doing. We're in a much different situation than he is. He gets paid millions of dollars to do that. Would I do it? Who knows? Who knows? We could. That would have to. We don't want to do it. Then coach turns around like, "What do you guys?" So it would have to be like a joint effort from us and the coaches. But as far as like why he's doing it, I understand why he's doing it, and he's right about a lot of the things he's saying. So, like I said, it would just have to be a joint effort. We wouldn't want to ruffle Coach Stallings' feathers. So.